Good morning. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve. Yeah, it's Christmas Eve. Well, morning of Christmas Eve. How are you guys doing today? How has your week been? It has been a really good week for us. It's been a great week. We actually had some carnivore-esque friends over last night. Scott made his rib roast. Delicious. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Good morning, Candace. How are you doing? Do you guys have plans for Christmas parties today, later, or tomorrow, like family stuff? Morning, Lainey.
Morning.
Coffee. We are going to do a Carnivore Christmas Eve dinner. Morning, Wendy. We're going to make broccoli cheese soup. Scott, I haven't made it in a year and a half.
Broccoli cheese soup is my favorite meal. My second favorite meal when I was, single man was baked potato with a bunch of cheese and onions on it. So I just love cheese.
Morning, Raven. Morning, Emily. Hi, Jan. Uh, working. I used to. It was actually one of my favorite times to work was Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving Day because I didn't ever have to cook and I could just finish work and then go and eat afterwards. Uh, Merry Christmas, Tracy. Hi, Beth. So we're gonna do broccoli cheese soup tonight. We went and got the broccoli yesterday. I have a delicious broccoli cheese soup recipe that I make. It's ketovore. It does call for xanthan gum, but we're gonna try to make it without. Hopefully, it's not too
You could
runny.
probably use one of the flours. What's the
The beef or chicken flour, maybe,
chicken flour?
maybe. I don't know,
That might work.
but that's what we're gonna do because that was Scott's request, and I feel nothing bad about doing that because it's just broccoli, cheese, and then tomorrow we're going to go to my brother's and do the brunch. We're taking charcuterie, so I got the meat, we have cheese. Scott's gonna bring sausage, breakfast sausage, and chorizo sausage. And I believe my sister is gonna bring the bacon, probably something else, and the baby.
Yeah.
Just bacon and baby, that's fine.
Bacon and baby?
We will not be eating the baby though, just so you know.
That sounded awful.
Okay, you know what? There's somebody.
Put the baby on the grill, not the bacon. Like, oh my god.
There's that one person out there that I was just clarifying that for.
Okay.
And then my sister-in-law is going to make some grits and some kind of sweet something, and I don't know what else. We don't really care. I'm going there for the eggs and the meat, and that's it.
Yeah, spend time with family. We're going to give the unicorn it's a pegacorn. Pegasus unicorn.
Oh, yes. Today we have to put the pegacorn, wrap it, and put it in the box. Mm-hmm. And I am almost.
So close with your cow. So close.
I got his tongue on. I have to do his hair. I missed his horns. His hair and his ears. And I got to finish. I've got the needle still in his tongue. Got his head almost done. So then I can attach it to the body. So this will be ready tomorrow for the baby. Not that I think he's going to necessarily.
The funniest part, when she did chicken wings the other night, she was so hungry. However, a little drop of hot sauce
ended up
spilled on the head. And she's so lucky she's able to cover it with the nose.
I tried cleaning it off. It did not work. The buffalo sauce. I don't understand this because he was like back. He was kind of like back here. And I looked over. I'm like, why does that look like buffalo spot right on the inside? And of course, he's white, right? How in the world? I flicked buffalo sauce behind me. I did eat quite quickly.
Whenever she's working on the head, the girls are like, what's that? I smell.
Oh. I cleaned most of it off, but I covered it up. No one will ever know except you guys that I have buffalo sauce on the Highland cow.
Until we go down to Buck and Jesse's and all of a sudden, Milo's like torn across the face, like, I need that sauce.
I don't know. Most dogs, except Olive, don't really like hot sauce. Okay. Anywho. Merry Christmas, Lynn.
Lynn's got a twin. welcome from Western Australia. Thank you for watching.
Merry Christmas, Lainey. You said it's already, yeah, you're right, because you're in Australia. Duh. It is already Christmas there, isn't it? We, Scott and I don't do Christmas presents. I don't think we really ever did.
Not really.
No, because I just realized that
we get what we feel we need or can be useful throughout the year. And so, you know, and part of that's also because
I am his Christmas gift.
Yes.
That's why.
Well, I'm a guy and I'm terrible at Christmas presents. Well, presents in general. Birthday, anniversary, Christmas, Valentine's.
I am excellent at gifts. Excellent. You tell me one time something you like, I will jot it down in here and remember it. Paula, the buffalo sauce is under the recipe tab on my YouTube. So you can, it's delicious. But I will tell you, big warning, do not skip any of the steps. The emulsifying step is required, or it's just like butter on top of a liquid. It's very weird. Not very good.
Definitely got to emulsify. And the right temperature when you emulsify. If it's too hot, it'll separate again a little bit later. So
letting it cool slightly.
Very cool.
Oh,
thank you.
American girl, you're the sweetest. Merry Christmas. You two have been a wonderful inspiration, proof that anyone can make anything happen if you put your mind, heart, and soul to it in your efforts. Yes, and y'all, if you haven't, people are probably going to get sick of me mentioning this stupid book.
But this is the Tiny Habits channel, not Carnivore's Me.
Yes, it is. It is on sale right now for, at least in the U.S., for $9, 8 something.
Oh no, the audio's $8.
Oh, well, it's like $8.97, whatever. Yeah. Normally it's like $21 or something like that. Get this book, read it, and the biggest thing, let me find it. The biggest thing is do the exercises at the end of every single chapter. You are cutting yourself short if you do not do them, okay? Do them. It'll change your life. And it's not even just around carnivore. It's around, like, I make the bed. I know to some people that probably doesn't seem like a big thing, but I've spent most of my life never making my bed. I do it every day. It's what's led me to do the elliptical. Today's day 20. I have done the elliptical 20 days in a row. I have never in my entire life done that. Even when I've been going to the gym previously, like not even on carnivore, but when I was trying to lose weight before, I've never been that consistent, ever. Walking the dogs. Well, we were pretty consistent when Rosie was alive. But biking Olive, working out, like all of this is.
Let's just realize something.
Yes.
I have the other thing right here.
Oh.
So I look over you because it's looking up at me. It looks funny, and you kind of look, level.
Don't do Christmas either. Sugar's full. Yeah, I don't like. I don't know. If I want to get Scott something, I get him something throughout the year. I'm kind of like, please nobody take this offensively. The Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't do presents and stuff like that. They just get what they want to get when they get it. And we're kind of like that. If it's something we really want, or if it's something large purchase, and Scott and I will talk about it and try to set aside when we're going to do it and things like that. And I always hate trying to get something for somebody, but not knowing what to get them, and knickknacks. I hate knickknacks. So I don't want to do that to somebody else. Anywho. Hi, Laura. Rural Retreat. I've been in Rural Retreat before. I'm excited for you. Y'all, seriously, today is what, the 24th? I should know what today is. It's new. I almost said New Year's. It's Christmas Eve. Get this book and preferably start it before you start your carnivore journey. I wish I had this book, honestly, in the beginning. I read Atomic Habits. It is a good book. However, this one is 10 times better. It is the blueprint for how you do things. I think Atomic Habits is a good read after this one. Yeah. Because it kind of instills more of the philosophy and
helps you remember the structure.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is the blueprint. And again, it doesn't have to be just around food, but any kind of habits you want to develop. Ordered Tiny Habits this morning. Yes. Scott and I ordered 13 copies of it because I want to do like kind of maybe like a monthly giveaway slash like drawings,
challenge.
yeah, something, and then offer it to people because I think it's just that good of a book.
Yeah.
There you go, Lynn. Tiny Habits is basically about good self-care. It is, because showing up for ourselves. This is actually, Tiny Habits is a reason that I started doing the 365 days of showing up, is I realized I hadn't been showing up for myself. I did the first 8-9 months when I started Carnivore, and then Rosie died, and then I just internally fell apart.
At that point in time, she was showing up for Rosie. She wasn't showing up for herself. So like Tiny Habits has kind of helped her change her perspective about like, this is for her, and when she's healthy, family can help and grow and be better when she's healthy. So when you show up for yourself, the people around you benefit too.
Yes, and that's the thing. Jordan Peterson talks about this, and I mean, plenty of other people talk about it, is that it's, what is it, the rising boat tide thing?
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, and that's what it is. As we become more positive by taking care of ourselves, then we kind of just, he sees it, and then he's like, you know what? I want that too. I like that positivity, that feeling good about myself. And it might even just be a subtle thing that he doesn't realize he's doing, but then he wants to do better. Scott's been a good boy, and has been doing the gym too without me. I haven't had to push him at all, which is wonderful.
I pulled my quads because I was stupid the other day.
It's fun.
Don't go from regular squats, no weights, to adding 2 25-pound dumbbells, which is pretty much, I added a third of my body weight to my squats right away. I'm like, oh, that hurt. That really hurt. Oh, God. So I haven't worked out yesterday and Friday since I did that. And I'll get back to it, but you know what? It's just seeing her do the habit really makes me want to do it. And like last night, generally our deal is I cook, she cleans, and I'll do it every once in a while. And last night she was like, I'm going to edit my video. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to clean the kitchen. Because even though I made the meal for everybody, nice big rib roast, that I just cleaned up the kitchen. It was so nice this morning to wake up to a nice clean kitchen, and she didn't have to do it. It was just a peaceful morning. It's great for Christmas Eve. That's what we're talking about. It's like you just encourage each other. There's a proverb that I've always loved. I can't remember which one it is, but as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And essentially, when you start going, everybody starts building on each other. You make each other better and stronger and more sharp.
Sweet, you make me cry. We had friends over that actually I met through doing our carnivore meetups, and Scott made the rib roast. This week, we'll be doing one later this week. I promise we will record it. It's so stupidly easy. Scott got it almost done, and I went to take a shower, and he's like, we were supposed to record this, weren't we? I'm like, well, I guess we're going to do it later.
Almost done. It was done.
Well, you just had to put it in the oven.
Yeah, you just had to put it in the oven. I was like, well, that's nice. I got a little video of what it looks like after.
And Safeway, this will be until Tuesday. Safeway, Fred Meyer's, which is Kroger's, they have their rib roasts on sale. It's the select is $4.97, limit one with a digital coupon right now. So Kroger's, go to the butcher and ask for the uncut. We got a 20-pounder from them. If you just go by the 4-pound, they consider that your limit one. Safeway, same thing, but it is a choice rib roast, so quality higher. It's $5.97 with a coupon. Same thing. Go to the butcher and ask for the whole thing. We cut ours up into 4 different rib roasts.
4, yeah.
We cooked
the giant one last night,
which was 4 ribs. Yeah. But there was 4 of us, plus we have leftovers. It is delicious.
You do have to go in the morning because what happens?
They cut it up.
They get their shipment and then they start chopping it up. So you have to go in the morning and say, hey, I want the whole thing.
Yep.
And they'll just give it to you. Also, I would advise have a bag to carry it in, like a big bag, because it's a big piece of meat and it's probably going to be bloody. So you
the other 2,
yourself.
Yeah, the first 2, the other ones we got last week weren't bloody. This week, one was.
Yeah.
Angela, good morning. I listen every Sunday. You're such a positive spirit. That's so sweet of you. You have said several times that you literally went from cake to carnivore in a day. No weaning period at all. Powerful. I did. But here's the caveat, y'all. I was at the emergency room thinking I was going to die. And that is the only time I've ever succeeded in having a rapid change. But also, I literally thought I was going to die if I didn't change. So it was a very strong motivator for me. However, if I hadn't had that, I would have not done it that way, because every time I've ever tried to do a diet or lose weight, I've jumped both feet in, and then I wondered why a few months later I failed. And the reason is because I tried to tackle all of my bad habits at one time, but I've developed these habits over years and decades and things like that. I would not suggest it. There are personalities that it works well for, but I think most people not. An example is, and I like using this example, the book uses it, is let's say you want to stop eating junk food. Well, that is a pretty broad habit. How many times a day do you eat junk food? In the book, they gave an example of like, okay, you have a Frappuccino in the morning from Starbucks. You have candy on your desk. You didn't pack a lunch, so you eat pizza. You get stressed or tired in the middle of the day, so you eat a candy bar. You always have ice cream after dinner. And it's like, he kind of just made this list. And it's like, all of those make up that habit of eating junk food. And so no wonder when we try to say, I'm never going to eat junk food again, well, you do it so many times during the day without even realizing it, that eventually we fail because it's using willpower. Tiny Habits talks about isolating and removing each little habit. He calls it a Gordian knot. It's a big old Gordian knot. And if you try to attack it from the center, it's too big, it's too complicated, and we fail. Versus starting with unraveling the edges. So not having coffee in the morning and replacing it that. And he gives tools on how to do that. Then taking the candy dish off your desk and like attacking all of these. So then eventually when you get rid of the junk food habit, you've tackled and identified all of the issues that created it. Okay. So like I do really want to stress like that. A lot of people they've told me they've tried to and then they've stumbled, but I had a very seminal moment of thinking I was going to die, and that is what propelled me forward so strongly.
And once she started having a habit of eating well,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I want to like move so I can take care of my dog, that motivation was there. So she started building a habit without realizing she was building a habit.
Yeah.
And that's what really helped propel her.
Yeah. Is I started addressing them initially without even realizing I was addressing them.
Yeah.
And so the memory of dying, feeling bad, kind of thing,
But the book is a good way to do that without going to the hospital, getting kicked in the teeth with your medical whatever.
Yeah.
One of the things we were talking about last time with our friends was that I said essentially, because she was talking about how she's had candy since she was a kid, and it's just how she emotionally deals with stress and unhappy things, and I'm like, that's a root program in your brain. And one of the things that the books kind of really talk about, and I think that between the Habits books and Jordan Peterson, learning that the human brain just works a certain way, behavior is just works, and it's not like you're a bad person, it's not like you lack willpower, it's you have a cue which you think about something, and we've worked on this, we talked about this last week, where like I don't mention if I have a craving in my brain, because if I mention it, then that is a cue for Amanda, and that cue gets her brain going on something. So that's essentially start program, want bad stuff.
Last night's a good example. So our neighbor has been super sweet for the years we've lived here. And it's not a lot of grass on the right side of our house, but he has a lot more lawn than we do. He always mows like our strip of grass. He has for years. He's raked it. He's just been amazing. So we went and got him a Lowe's gift card and gave it to him the other day. We had left to go to the grocery store and came back yesterday, and they had left a bottle of wine, a card, and then a treat in a box for us to get.
Peanut butter.
It was peanut butter chocolate from a place. It's called Pure Bliss here. It's a bakery, and they're my crack dealer. Like literally, that place is my crack dealer. Well, I guess I should say used to be my crack dealer.
Used to be, yeah.
And I was like, peanut butter, y'all. Peanut butter is the bane of my existence. I love it. It gives me migraines, ironically, but it's my favorite thing. So we took it inside. I'm like, okay, Mandy, you're not going to eat this. I'm going to put it in baggies. I'm going to put them separately in baggies and I'll put them in the deep freezer. Scott did that. I put them in the bags, he put them in the deep freezer. And then my brain just kept thinking about it. I'm like, just one bite. I can have just one bite, one bite, one bite, one bite, one bite. And then finally, after about an hour, I told Scott, I said, you know what? They were very sweet of them to do that. They don't know we're doing carnivore. And if he had known, our neighbor, he wouldn't have bought it because he's super fit and he's all about health. I had Scott open bags up and throw them away. It was a cue. I hadn't thought about it. I hadn't remembered that they even existed on this planet till they were in front of me and I saw them. The cue happened and then it's like my brain just got stuck in wanting them. Granted, it was like my super crack that they ironically picked, but.
That's kind of what I mean by like it's a root program. It's there. It's so ingrained. You're not going to debug it. You're not going to get it out. It's always going to be there.
Mostly people are not programmers, love.
I know. I know. But what you do is with small little habits, you are essentially writing another path to go around that. So you're not dealing with it.
And like the taking them out and throwing them away. I just realized I just can't. Yeah, I just can't.
Once they're gone, out of sight, out of mind, don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
It was real, like, I was very, very proud of her. That was wonderful.
But I totally admitted to him, if he had left to gone somewhere, I probably would have gotten him out of the freezer and eaten them. It's just, Tracy asked, how's my crochet going? He's going. I got his tongue almost done. I still got the needle in it. I got to do his hair and his ears and then attach him. And he will be done tomorrow. He will be done. So it's going really well. I'm pleased I'm going to get it done because his body's done.
If you hear snores, it's coming from right here.
Is she snoring?
She's snoring.
Lynn, meat sales starting price $1,040 down to $414. That is whole fantastic. Freezer full. That rib roast that we got from Safeway yesterday or day before, $397, not on sale. Not on sale. $400. Got 100. How much?
133.
133 is what we actually paid for.
A third of the cost that it normally would be.
Almost a little bit, well, something like that, but yeah.
Which, I mean, if you're getting your meat prices down to $5 or $6 per pound, whatever it is, then if you eat 2 pounds a day, you're eating for $10 to $12 a day, which is fantastic compared to all the other prices for things you should get right now.
If you're not buying snacks, you're not throwing food away, you're not buying any kind of like fast food. People think that's a lot of money, but it's not. When you start adding up the snacks and the Twinkies and the sodas and, how much for us, how much fruit and vegetables we've thrown away over the years, like it's nauseating how many bags of avocados I've thrown away because I let them go bad. Carol just got Tiny Habits book. Woo woo! Starting January. Yes.
All right.
We are excited for you.
Start this week. There's nothing stopping you.
Well, I agree.
It is Christmas week.
I agree.
There's lots of food and stuff out there.
Well, but then people have New Year's parties, so it can be hard. It can be hard.
Very true.
Hope. Merry Christmas. Tammy, the kind of stuff goes straight in the garbage. Can't do it. Yeah. I kept it in the freezer because I'm like, I felt so bad that because the place is not cheap. But at the same time, I'm like, it's just going bye-bye. Hope, that's incredible. Unfortunately, Western Canada, the cheapest price for rib roast is $9.99 a pound. That is actually cheaper. Granted, I know it's in Canadian dollars versus US dollars.
Costco.
That's still cheaper than what Costco's selling them for. We walked by there yesterday. Was it $15.99? They wanted a pound for it. Costco didn't get the memo. It's on sale right now. Carol, did Scott read Tiny Habits? Scott has read some of Tiny Habits. He still needs to finish it. Jan, our Smith sold it in the whole roast. One of the Fred Meyers here had the whole ones out. The other one we had to ask the butcher, and the butcher was not very nice. I got a box of Kona cookies from a Hawaiian friend. No reason to open them. I will give them to someone on a street corner. The ingredients are all chemicals. Yeah, I mean, we've done that before. A lot of our stuff that we keep downstairs as like emergency food, or like I had piled up the stuff to make like sun-dried tomatoes and stuff. We donated it to the food bank. I mean, we just peanut butter, avocado or olive oil, I mean, tomato stuff.
Probably the only thing in our house that is sugary anyway is honey.
Well, that's not true. We have a box of instant oatmeal, but that's like
Oh yeah, no.
emergency.
So like that's like so instant oatmeal. Like if there's a flood, it'll actually survive the package, so we'll have something to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things where
But that's true emergency food.
that's true emergency food. Or I mean, somebody else is the house burned down, and you can give them some food that will keep them
Yeah.
going for a little while.
Yeah.
Add water. So
Lainey, I'm starting Carnivore Boxing Day. What's Boxing Day?
it's a holiday in.
I would love to know if someone could explain what Boxing Day is to me, because I had someone mention it the other day and I have no idea what that is. So, but I'm excited for you.
Birthday?
Mike Tyson's birthday. Carnivore Today. Thank you. Thank you so much for helping with the 24-hour fundraiser, Carnivore documentary, Healing Humanity, and the book recommendations of He Who Fights with Monsters. Oh, are you loving it? I actually have another book recommendation.
Oh yeah, she's really loving it. She's actually liking this more than He Who Fights with Monsters.
I really do like He Who Fights with Monsters, but hold on, let me find it.
I know. I crack up with He Who Fights with Monsters.
It's still a good series. They came out with the 10th book, by the way, the end of November. Mark of the Fool. There's only 4 books right now. I already finished them. It is amazing. The story of Mark of the Fool is really, really good. It like sucks you in. It's so good. So if anybody's nerds, there you go. Book recommendations. Laura, do you ever have cheat days or occasional cheat meal? Do you think it's toxic or okay? For the past 20 days, I have had no what I would consider cheat meals or anything like that. And to answer it in the beginning, I think it is not a good idea. I personally, I am a binge eater. I do not know when to stop. We were talking last night with the ladies. I have eaten myself sick before where I tried to make myself vomit that I actually broke all the blood vessels around my eyes. I tried vomiting so hard. I was so sick. I don't have the off switch. So the problem with cheats for me is they lead to a cheat and then a cheat and then a cheat. And then it's like 2 weeks struggling to get back on. Also, here, 2 things. Do you want somebody to cheat on you? Like, do you like, no matter how you see that as, like cheat with money, cheat with a relationship, do you want someone to do that to you? So why do it to ourselves? Now, if you consciously make the decision, I'm going to eat this, that's different. But I don't allocate cheat days because then I spend the entire week trying to recover from it. I'm just not willing to do that. Like if you have a cheats on Saturday, you're going to feel crappy because you're throwing yourself out of ketosis. And then you spend the entire week getting back in and then you just do it again. And it's like this rinse and repeat cycle. And you just don't feel like you're getting any traction.
I was going to add that you can have things that are off carnivore if you mentally are able to just let go of it. But if you are beating yourself up about it in any way, shape, or form, then you're just going to start feeding that guilt monster. And that monster just gets bigger and bigger the more
the shame that comes with it.
So that's what I have to say. Like, if you're like, man, I'm going to have some, sweet potato casserole, and I'm going to feel good about it and not care about it. And then, next day I'm going to like let it go and feel great and eat back on carnivore. That's great. But, back to what we're saying about the tiny habits. It does start the brain thinking about that frequently. What really, really helps with staying on is consistency, small habits. That's what really helps you. And then, when Amanda's probably close to her target weight, if she eats off and she even eats off for a week, it's not like she's trying to catch up losing 15 pounds.
Yeah. And eventually the plan is as I get to a healthy weight, carnivore will always, or at least ketovore carnivore will always be 95% of my diet for the rest of ever. Now, if I have a special occasion, like next year, if I have a single piece of cake for my birthday, that I will be fine with. It's not like I'm never, ever going to do it again. I know that's like to some people, but I'm a realist and I know that I'm going to have a bite of strawberries or a raspberry or something down the road. But my goal is 95% of my diet is carnivore. like going for the rest of my life. But in the beginning, I do not suggest it. But as Scott said, if you can eat it, like eat some sweet potatoes or something, and then you can let it go and not feel guilty about it, then you can move past it. Then you'll be okay. Is it going to slow your progress? Yes. But is that the end of the world? No. But personally, I would not allocate cheat days because, as I said, I don't want to be cheated on. I don't. And why? So why do it to my own self? Mm-hmm. Elizabeth, was it choice or prime? It was choice. I about fell over when I saw that it was the choice rib roast.
Costco's kind of stopped having meat deals.
Mm-hmm. That I've seen. For a while. Day after Christmas in Canada is called Boxing Day, I believe. Is that because you cut up all your boxes? I'm going to Google it. Avocado oil and olive oil can be used on the skin. I kept mine. We had bottles, like Costco size bottles of it. We actually use avocado oil frequently to cook high temperature stuff with.
Well, it's actually all that we use.
No, you use tallow too.
Well, yeah, tallow. Okay, yeah. Sure. But we don't use olive oil anymore.
No, we don't. Paula, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, celebrated in England. Interesting. I'm curious. This is like off subject, but really? What's the
Lady says it right after.
What's the genesis of it? Hi Amanda, how do you feel about setting a start date to start a PhD? I listened to the podcast the other day that was pushing the don't delay, start tomorrow narrative. Like PhD in the proper human diet PhD? Yeah. Is that what we're talking about? I agree. There's a lot of emphasis, and this is a hard thing about January 1st and New Year's. There's a lot of emphasis put on New Year's resolutions, but usually at the end of the month, most people quit them because they're relying on it's the new year, the oomph, versus doing things that are becoming habitual. And that is why I think it's important to start now because, well, at least after tomorrow.
I want to kind of add to this. So part of the reason why we really advocate these 3 books, The Habits and Jordan Peterson, is learning how the brain really works. When you start a New Year's resolution, there is this future you that you are trying to achieve. And then if you're not quite on track or you get to the future point where you thought you would be, and then you're not there because you haven't really developed the habit, what happens is people they beat themselves up. Oh, I'm just a failure. Oh, I can't do this. And it is really setting wrong expectations because you don't have the underlying habit formed to reach that goal. And if you actually read success books, business books about people, how do they reach the top tier of their field? It's because a lot of their habits are driven to drive success. And so if you really want to I want to lose weight, I want to eat healthy, I want to get, my blood pressure under control, whatever your health goals are, understand that okay, that's going to take time to get to, and it's going to take good habits. And that's just going to be a process. What I've been working on with Amanda a lot is that she's like, I should do more. I should lose more weight. I'm doing all this exercise. I'm riding Olive for 6 to 9 miles a day. I should be losing 5 pounds a week. And I'm like, no, you should set your expectations that you're going to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. If you lose more, fantastic. But every time that I've noticed what's happened, and this is why we've kind of really struggled for 8 months. And we talked about this, that when Amanda started, she had the kick in the pants with the hospital visit, but then she unconsciously was developing good habits around Rosie. She was showing up for Rosie. And then when Rosie passed, she stopped showing up for herself. And then we spent about 8 months just kind of up and down. And she gained some weight. She went back to 160. And finally she's like, okay, I got to figure out what's going on.
You mean two? Actually, it was
260.
It was actually 269 I had gotten back up to.
Yeah. And down to, what did you weigh yourself this morning?
I did weigh myself. I'm super proud. I am at 247.2.
3 more this week.
Two to 3 more weeks, and I will be in the 230s. Yes. Right. I can do math. 230s.
But anyways, my point is that she had this expectation, and then she was always trying to catch up for where she was. She's like, "Oh, I failed again. I lost weight. I got to lose 15 pounds." So her expectations was driving the guilt monster. Her expectations was driving a failure, versus now she just does the elliptical a minute where she's starting. She's like, "I'm a success," and she feels it. So now it's almost been 3 weeks of just daily habits, losing weight a little bit at a time. And so that's what I'm trying to say is that have that goal. You can wait this week if you don't, but your expectations should be in line with understanding how well you develop your habits. Because if you have like, I'm gonna lose all this weight, and then like it comes to like February, you're like, I'm such a failure. You're gonna just beat yourself up. You're gonna say that I don't want to do this. This doesn't work. I hope that makes sense.
That was a monologue.
That was a monologue. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's fine. Lynn, Amanda, you're the reason I found out about using the digital coupon. Fred Meyer's best price Safeway. The staff is awesome. 22-pound roast was the biggest I got.
Nice.
I think ours was like 20.76 or something, which is a big boy. Here we go. Boxing Day in history was the day the poor people and servants were gifted presents. Oh, that makes sense.
So I should get presents on Tuesday for you.
Oh, God, Scott. Jess, my birthday is January 10th. My husband keeps asking if I'm going to treat myself to cake this one time. Yeah, and you just have to decide, like, this year, I didn't.
Your birthday?
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't do cake this year for my birthday. And you just have to decide if it is going to be that slippery slope. Like for tomorrow, my sister-in-law is making Dutch baby apple babies. I don't know. There's some
Dutch apple something.
There's some kind of
sounds
sweet dessert deliciousness because I love apple stuff. But I just decided, you know what? I'm so proud of myself. No bite of tasty food feels good as it does feeling proud of myself and feeling like I have integrity. I got a 4-rib roasted fries here in Prescott. The limit was 2. Nice. But my mom had the app, so I was able to use hers also. Nice. Just go to the butcher, y'all. Go to the butcher and ask. You can get the big ones. I mean, if you want the big ones, because you do have to cut them up for you. I mean, you have to cut them up for yourself. Although my mom went and was able to, the butcher was nice and cut it up for her into steaks. I don't know if all of them are. The one butcher that way, no, he was not nice.
Embry Riddle in Prescott is where I met her brother.
Yeah.
That's all of my current friends we met at college there at Embry Riddle.
Yeah. Paula, I hate to say this, but I can't find the recipe tab. Did you say it's on your YouTube page? Yeah, you have to go to, what is it? It's not a tab, but it's going to be kind of like a file folder. I think 365 is the first one, and you just have to like slide to the right some, and then it's called recipes, and that's where like all the videos for those are stored. Do you remember the name of that video? Because they could search directly for it.
For which one?
The buffalo sauce. Scott will find it and link it real quick while he's doing it.
Yeah.
Tammy, my birthday is January 12th. Happy early birthday to both of you, by the way. I started Carnivore last May, but I haven't had cake for my birthday in quite a few years because gluten causes me to have so much pain. It's not worth it. Yeah, my brother-in-law is gluten intolerant. So anytime I get cake for them or whatever, I have to make sure it's gluten-free because he can't have any gluten at all. His tummy does not feel good from it.
What is that not actually show? Interesting. There's no
recipe.
Videos. There's no recipes.
I'll have to look and see.
It's just videos, live playlists. I don't see it.
Are you in the creator one or are you?
I'm in mine, so like what everybody else would see for you.
Okay, well I'll have to see if I can find it. But if you can just find the video form and link it, that would be perfect.
I just typed in buffalo in the search, and that came up. So
I tried gluten-free cake once. It was awful. It is not that I'm suggesting any of this, but it is hit and miss. Honestly, you really have to find a good bakery to do it. It is the one that's here, Pure Bliss. Their gluten-free is really, really, honestly, I almost like it better than the other ones because it's so light. I've had to hit and miss over the years trying to find gluten-free for him. My sister tried to make a gluten-free cake. It was like dry as the Sahara Desert. Not good, not good. Laura, besides iodine, do you suggest any supplements? By the way, thank you for all this information and advice. I have a video called the
5 supplements issue.
like the 5 supplements or something. But I do iodine every day in my coffee. Then I do my brain's not working. D3, but we live in the Pacific Northwest. And because I still take hydroxychloroquine, I am essentially somewhat allergic to a large amount of sun. I take a women's multivitamin. I agreed with my physician. And then what else? I do Element. Am I forgetting something, Scott? I think those are the 4 things I take. Iodine, so Lugol's. I think those are the 4 things I take. The video has it because I forget.
There's a video. Found it.
Okay. Is that you should probably put the name of the video.
It's the 5 supplements.
Oh, yeah.
I
forgot what the 5th one is. That's funny. I don't remember what it is. Tammy, my husband's allergic to stevia. I found my tummy does not do very well with stevia. I have some Zevia grape drinks, and I drank one the other day, and I honestly only got like 3 or 4 sips in. I'm like, I don't want this anymore. My stomach started hurting afterwards. I don't do well with any other artificial sweeteners, except if I do every once in a absolute blue moon. Because they go in and then out, and there we go. Y'all can't see this, but she's a little prim princess. She's like, you are my lap and
enjoying looking out the window.
My throne. Anyways, yeah, so here, when I bought bought gluten-free English muffins, company coming for brunch. This doesn't equal healthy. The ingredients are atrocious. Lynn, you're sweeter than I am. We were talking about this last night too. If you come to my house, you're going to get at least ketovore dinner. I don't mind doing some vegetables for people, some low-carb vegetables, but
like a Caesar salad.
We had a Caesar salad yesterday. I had a little bit of it. I will not buy bread. I'm just that jerk person. I will not buy bread.
We don't have chips. We have pork rinds.
Yep. And if they want to bring it themselves, all the power to them. But I always warn them, this is what we're having. If you want something else, like a side or something else, please bring it. Just like if I went to a vegan's house, I don't expect them to cook meat for me. I'm going there knowing they're vegan. You know what I mean? And so my mom used to be that person that would buy special stuff for people. I guess I think my grandma was like all about that, but I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not spending the money, and I don't believe it's healthy for people. So I'm not gonna give it. Not that I'm trying to make you feel bad, Lynn. Don't take that way. That's not what I mean.
Merry Christmas. Feel bad.
How about monk fruit?
It's made of real monks. What is monk fruit?
It's not artificial sweetener technically, but it falls along those lines. Okay. It is, I think it breaks down into sugar alcohols. But I don't like the taste of monk fruit. Yeah. I've never had any cloud bread. My fear is I would like it a little too much. I've made cloud bread one time, but you use a lot of eggs, and Amanda doesn't really like eggs. So if you want him to try it, Tammy, you just pretty much just chuck it in there and don't tell him and see how he likes it. Like, that's what I found. When I was starting to do like gluten-free stuff for us years and years ago, I started using almond flour, and I never even told Scott that I was changing it up. And he's like, oh, this is good. Never even knew. Kat's gluten-free bakery. They They ship across the U.S. Well, that's good to know.
Okay.
That is good to know. I drink so much coffee, I need to go potty.
Okay.
So I will be right back. You guys can conversate with Scott. I will be literally.
What? It's all on me. Oh, you need help moving that?
No, it's fine. I got it. I'll be right back. I just drink all the coffee. I'm fine. It's fine.
No, I don't need help. Let me kick that. So let's see here. What are we doing this week? Sunday next week, New Year's Eve. Are we gonna have an early live next week? I don't think so. I think next Sunday we're still gonna do 9:00 live, even though we are. Look at that. Annie's keeping her seat warm for her. We're going down to play some games with some friends again. And then this week, I think we're just gonna get back to working out Monday through Saturday, which has been a very nice habit. Taking the girls for a run, and Olive's done really, really well. I think I showed her earlier. Sweet puppy dog. Amanda, kind of like how she was showing up for Rosie, she's actually starting to show up for Olive in bike riding. And she's done this, she's had this goal to go down to the marina, which is only a couple mile ride, but it's a slow slope down to sea level. And she went all the way to marina Thursday.
Oh, sorry, Olive. Yeah, I think it was Thursday.
She rode all the way back, and Olive loved it. She did 9 miles that day. Yeah.
You're extra cute, Amanda. You're extra cute.
You're really thin and muscular.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay.
Go, Annie. Come on, honey.
So it's been actually really nice that Amanda's just kind of been riding Olive, and that she also really loves bike riding. It's like one of those habits that's very just rewarding. So it's tandem. We also got another. I'll help with that. We also got another rod for taking Sadie, because I'm gonna start taking Sadie, and we'll do both of them, and then we'll have 2 very tired puppy dogs when we're all said and done.
Chloe, Merry Christmas. Wondering how long it took you to reverse your type 2 diabetes. When did I have that blood work done and stuff?
I thought you kind of had that clear.
6 to 8 months. So here's the thing that I always want to clarify with people is when you first start carnivore, if you're type 2 diabetic, you are managing your glucose levels. Like your blood sugars will be normal because you're not ingesting extra exogenous, which is external carbohydrates and sugars. To actually reverse type 2 diabetes, your pancreas has to heal and your insulin sensitivity has to go back to what is considered normal. Because right now, if I ate a piece of cake, my blood sugars would be 100% normal. Okay, they would be well, I shouldn't say exactly, but the same as what Scott's would be if he ate a piece of cake and I ate a piece of cake. My insulin sensitivity has come to the normal range, and I no longer abnormally respond to even massive amounts of sugar. So 6 to 8 months, we did my fasting insulin. I can pass a 3-hour glucose test. And so what they do is they give you very specific doses of glucose over the period of time, and then they check to see how your body responds. And that's pretty much the only way to really confirm it's reversed. But I just want to clarify, because some people get a little frustrated that their blood sugars are doing good, and then they eat off, and then they're like, oh, I had a spike. What's wrong? And so, well, it's because you've been managing it, and it's going to take however long it's going to take for each of our bodies to repair. If you are a insulin dependent diabetic, if you've been a diabetic for a really long time, genetics have a big role to play in how fast your body can heal. There's a caveat with this. There is a tipping point where we've gotten so far in and we've damaged our pancreas so much that there is no coming back from it. But honestly, it's a pretty far tipping point for the most part. It just may take someone quite a bit longer, and it's just going to take time, So just keep at it. I promise it will disappear. Lynn, kicking out dairy and any sweeteners just keeps the cravings going. I'm okay with dairy as long as I treat it like a condiment. But I don't honestly use a lot of sweeteners lately. I haven't even been using I have some of the stevia element. I've been using the raw pretty much every morning, just putting it in a hot cup of water and drinking it that way. So yeah.
Oh, there it is.
What you looking for?
All right, so on the Carnivore Me YouTube channel, you go to playlists.
Oh, that's what they're called, playlists. My
They're
bad.
called playlists. Then you scroll down and it's actually at the bottom row is recipes. So she's got doctor appointments playlist, health update playlist,
I probably need to reorganize that one a little
probably
bit.
blood work,
Yeah.
weekly updates, and yeah, the recipes it's kind of at the bottom, but yeah, go to playlists.
Yeah.
I knew we had it somewhere.
Tammy, I made eggnog, put it in just enough maple syrup, a couple tablespoons. I'm thinking that's tablespoons. It was perfect. Today's husband's birthday, so I'm making Chris cooking Nashville's cheeseburger casserole. Cheeseburgers casserole sounds delicious, oddly enough. Yum, yum. Laura, do you struggle with plateaus in carnivore? How do you push past, if so? Yes, but my plateau was from not eating carnivore, like doing what I said. I would eat something, then spend a week trying to get back out of it, and then eat something and the week back out of it. And that was with Rosie. You will always hit plateaus because our body is always trying to seek equilibrium with the amount of energy we consume and expend, right? The big thing that I suggest is if you're hitting a plateau is use something like, let me find it. Chronometer. Sorry, the lights up there reflecting. And I use it. I just weigh my foods and then I pop it in there, and it just helps me keep accountable for how much fat, protein, and how much energy I'm consuming. Most of you know my feelings about calories. They are not the best. They are not the best metric to use, but they're the only one we have because we use thermal, chemical, and mechanical, good Lord, energy, and all calories taken is thermal energy, but we have no other way to measure energy at this point. I think it can be a guidepost to tell, are we consuming too much energy? And I know a lot of times people don't want to hear this, but food is energy. Energy, this is like the basics of physics. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. If we are eating meat, it is a form of energy. It has to go somewhere. So most of the time when I stall, what's happened is I've been eating too much. Okay. And then I know there's a lot of people are like, well, but Amanda, what about those people who eat more and lose weight? My theory, and I can only call it a theory behind this, is what happens is when people start really restricting the amount of energy they eat, our bodies slow down. Like, let's say I was eating 800 calories a day, every day, right? I would feel lethargic for the most part. I would stop moving a lot. And then what happens is my energy expenditure and what I'm eating equalize. So even though I'm eating so very little, I feel lethargic and I don't move a lot. So I'm not expending a lot of energy during the day. I'm eating very little, but not losing weight. I eat a little bit more. I start to feel better. I start to move more. Okay. Not that I'm suggesting, what's the saying? You can't out exercise a bad diet, which is very true. And I'm not saying go and run 10 miles just to lose weight, but those are my strong suggestions. And I have found, especially in the past 20 days, huge improvements.
Laura, also, this is kind of what my giant monologue was about 10 minutes ago, was that expectations. If you have expectations and then you're not meeting them, you beat yourself up, you eat off a little bit, then you're like, beat yourself up, then you start getting back on. You do well for a while, and then something happens with, you get birthday party or holidays or something happens, you eat bad again, and then you're like, oh, I'm such a terrible person because you're not meeting your expectations.
You yo-yo is what it ends up being. And that's why I don't suggest cheat days. If you're going to go somewhere and you do something and you did something, you ate something, off what you wanted to eat, move on. But having scheduled cheat days, it just creates this yo-yo that you're constantly chasing, trying to get back into ketosis. It's not fun. Lynn, what food scale do you use? I have it. If you go to my Amazon page thingy, I have it on there. I don't remember the brand of it. I have two. I have one that goes to the hundredths place. So it's 0.01 or 0.00, like specificity, whatever. That is for
goes to the thousands.
tens. Wait.
Tens, hundreds, thousands. So 3 decimals goes.
No, it goes to 2 decimals.
Oh, so it goes in hundreds.
Yeah, the hundredths. I said 0.00.
Oh, this is a little. Sorry.
No. It goes to the hundredths place. And you need that specifically for doing things like if you're going to cure meats, you need that specific. Yeah. But the big food scale is just, I think, to the tens place. Hi, Jay. How are you? Merry Christmas to anybody who has joined later. Merry Christmas Eve. Yeah, Merry Christmas Eve. I have to check what day it was. Scott thought today was Saturday when we woke up.
I did. I don't know why. I'm like, oh, is it Sunday already?
What's wrong with Sunday?
Nothing. It's just that it's Sunday already. It's Sunday, Christmas Eve of 2023. Like, what happened to 2022 and 2021? Like, it's hard to believe we've been up here. We're going on our 4th year.
Mm-hmm.
When we moved here, we're like, okay, maybe a year of working, we'll see how it goes, but we save and buy a house up there. And then the pandemic hit, and housing prices
everything went
parabolic. And so now we're like, we might be able to afford something when a relative dies in
2035.
Yeah, like it's just part of the reason why we like Bellingham was it has a very good microeconomy. It's very well insulated from changes, but that also means the housing prices don't really change a whole lot. Anyways, sorry.
You don't have to apologize, love. Lordy.
I can sell a kidney. I don't need to.
I mean, you probably have pretty healthy kidneys.
Now.
But does someone want a 50-year-old kidney? I guess if they need a kidney, they're just
going to
take any
works.
kidney they can get. We have terrible sense of humor, y'all.
We do.
We're the worst. Oh, Lordy. I'm curious what you guys are doing for Christmas tomorrow. If you're going to be doing meals, you're hosting, someone else is hosting. I purposely try not to host because I don't like having that stuff in our house. So we're going to go to my brother's and have a delicious Christmas brunch of meat and eggs.
Mm-hmm. And deliver 2 crocheted things.
2 crocheted things, yes.
A niece and a nephew. Everybody else gets nothing.
They don't get anything. Well, I don't ever expect anybody to get me anything because I just find, I don't know, I'm an adult. I can either get it or not.
Okay, yeah, I gotta say something. I generally don't there's nothing I really need. You don't have to worry about presents. But her mom, we flew her out for a while, spent some time with her, had a great time. She went back to Virginia and then wanted to send us some thank you presents. And I use this all the time now. It's this little kind of hot plate that I set my coffee on to keep it warm because I always like warm coffee. I used Amanda's also, so I got one at my computer.
She got one for both of us, and Scott's now using both of them.
I use both. One on my computer downstairs, one up here. And I love it. It's one of the few things I didn't know I needed that, but I sure love it.
Janet, just me and the dog, same as every other day. Oh, I did see your comment, by the way, asking about if I do the element in hot water every morning. I do. I pretty much, and that's why I add it to every video now, just because I actually prefer it that way. Just the raw element in a cup. I usually use the same cup, and then I give myself coffee afterwards. It's a habit I have developed because I would forget half the time to take it. But I find it helps so much where I literally sweat profusely, y'all. It's actually been shown that if you grow up in an area that's quite hot, I grew up in Vegas, that I actually have more sweat glands, pores than Scott does because he didn't grow up anywhere as hot. So I sweat a lot, even when I'm not so, chunky. Tammy, my husband went to his sister's house last Saturday. I stayed home and had a peaceful day to myself. That's amazing. Tomorrow we'll have a peaceful day together. That sounds lovely.
Fantastic.
Go take a walk if it's not snowing.
Take a walk even if it is snowing. And make sure you put lots of snow down the back of your shirt. Because I know that's what she would do to me.
I'm a little sad there hasn't been snow this year.
Yeah.
We haven't had one snow this year. Last year we had 2, 3 maybe. Yeah.
The first year we were here was Sadie's first snow. It was adorable.
Oh yeah, she was like banana. She took her tennis ball out there and was going crazy in the snow. lend friends and to share reading 7 stories of Christmas love, and other sharing guests will share more about the company than the food. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Um, it seems like the 21st century, everything is about food. Just like it's all around food. I mean, we had, I guess, a mini dinner party last night, technically. And we did have food. Obviously, we were eating dinner, but it is so much more about the company than the food. Although, not gonna lie, the rib roast was. Oh, I'm curious, y'all, if any of you guys have tried the chuck roast recipe that I put out yet. I'm really, really, really interested in seeing how it goes. Also, as I said, I'm gonna do the rib roast this week for you guys to try. I need to add more magnesium with Element because I have some leg cramps. I think part of it is I get magnesium in my multivitamin too, so I seem to do pretty well with the volume of it.
That's actually something like we've discovered the last 2 weeks is that we were working out and we just were tired.
Yeah.
I had cramps all the time in my legs, and even though I've been stretching, we started doing Element more. So much easier,
Doing it first thing in the morning, even though I haven't worked out yet, doing it first thing in the morning has helped a lot.
Yeah.
It's helped a lot as a reminder to take it because I just kept forgetting.
Yeah.
I get a rude reminder if I forget the Element. I get awful leg cramps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I also find too, the days that I have worked out more, compared to Scott, I salt the ever living daylights out of my meat.
Well,
Scott's like
a little salty. You may not like it.
And I'm like, I need like 10 times more salt. Are you kidding me?
Good.
I'm making rib roast and a beautiful asparagus cream soup with my sister. Ooh,
that
sounds delicious. Elizabeth, yes, on the chuck roast recipe, much better than all of that water. I had someone months ago tell me about this on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now. I was like, yeah, whatever. I tried it. I will never go back to adding liquids to a chuck roast ever again.
So good.
It's thebomb.com. Ooh, it's summer here. I forget because you're on the other side. Live across the road from the beach, so I'm making a carnivore charcuterie board, and we're also having king prawns.
That sounds good.
That's shrimp, right?
Yeah.
Prawns.
Yeah.
Well, they're
giant shrimp.
They're in the shrimp family, right?
Yeah.
I've never met a shrimp that I've liked, and I have tried them. Lainey, one day we're going to come to Australia, and I'm just going to invite myself to stay with you so I can go to the beach.
Yes. We have a list of YouTube zillionaire, which will take years, but we're going to go visit South Korea, visit Australia, Japan, go do carnivore meetups throughout the country, and just meet people that have like, I want to do a meetup so bad. I'm like, we're just going to do that.
I'm hoping next year we can start that, maybe towards the middle or the end of the next year, is once a month or once every few months, go to a different part of the States.
Yeah.
And hold just some really big meetups. I really want to find some sponsors to do that. That would be so much fun.
Yes, that would be a lot.
And then just just do big old meetups. All right. Totally late to the party, but here, welcome. Hey, even if you're late, you still made it. Lainey, you'll be more than welcome. All right, y'all. It is 10:03. We're going to go make breakfast. I am going to finish. I'm going to probably have to take the needle out of his nose and tongue. I'm going to finish this boy, and we're going to get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And make our broccoli cheese soup for tonight.
Yes.
Our special meal. And that suggestion, real quick before you pop off, is having things in your back pocket like that. No, it's not carnivore. It is ketovore. But having something like that as a special meal that it feels like a treat, Laura, that you can use in your back pocket if you really need something. The day before yesterday, I said we're getting off in here. I'm still talking. The day before yesterday, I had that stevia or the Zevia drink, and then I started craving wanting heavy whipping cream or making whipped cream. And instead, Scott's like, well, why don't you have the salami and cheese? And I did, and it just hit the spot. That is a good substitute if I want something, is I have some meat and fat to use. So keep something in your pocket like that. So we have that. We have a couple other recipes that are more ketovore.
I had some bacon when she was like, having craving. I'm like, I'm a little hungry. Still, package too.
Yeah. So have some recipes like that in your back pocket that you can use if you really feel like a hankering for something different, but it still keeps you ketosis kind of along the line so you don't feel like you cheated. Because I'm not going to feel bad eating the broccoli cheese soup. Why? Because it's a plan and it's not cake, it's not cookies, and it's not crap.
Probably she's gonna get a bowl and I'm gonna eat the rest.
Probably. He's just going to eat directly out of the soup stock pot. All right, y'all. Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful day tomorrow, and we will talk to you guys next Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.